Wayne Brown Institute, branded as venturecapital.org, and we help early stage companies in the process of getting venture capital. And we do it for free. There's not a charge for it. So really, come talk to us. We want to help you out. So Sean Lowengrath is speaking today at our event, as is Brian Packer.
Brian.
And then we have another company presenting today, so you'll see a little bit of what I think he's going to be talking about as well this afternoon. But I met Sean, I would say November of last year, and he has a really cool product that they've put together. It's a portable solar device, but it's a power generator, portable solar power generator. But what's really cool about it is it's more compact, it's less expensive, and it's lighter than current technology. And their growth is that they are getting ready to do some new technology and making it even more. So Sean is going to tell you, I think, a little bit about himself, which is really incredible. And I think that we're really lucky to call him one of our own in Idaho.
Even though the Utah people keep wanting to claim it.
The
hell with them. You're ours now. And it's great to have someone not just from Boise, but from Pocatello.
That's right. So welcome.
Thank you. Very proud to be representing Eastern Idaho. Actually, I was driving up last night, and I almost turned around and went back because the snowstorm was crazy. I was just hiding behind a truck the whole time, so I don't get slide off the road. But I'm excited to be here. I wanted to make here and support Trailhead and Wayne Brown and the startup community here in Idaho and Boise. So, like I was introduced, I'm Sean Lowengrath. I'm the CEO of Energy Solar, and this is a great opportunity to come and just support the startup community here in Idaho and Boise. So this 1 Million Cup, great event. I wanted to come and support it. So I think the purpose of this event is actually just to share kind of the experience, just kind of what Michael had just done. So we want to share a little bit about where we came from, what we're going through, and potentially answer some of those questions that have been asked. And actually, one great question that was asked is, how do you bridge that gap between funding and starting up? We actually did an interesting approach, which is we adopted and embraced this concept of crowdfunding. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about that in my presentation today. And that could be another alternative to actually bridging the gap before you raise money. I wanted to share a little bit about kind of what drives us, or what kind of got us going. I don't know if you can see this back here, but this is Manhattan. I actually did I went to school at Columbia as well, and this is a very vibrant place, but basically half of Manhattan is dark. This is in 2003, you can probably guess by now, it's sandy. That left side has power, the other side, north side of Manhattan and rest of New Jersey, out of power for like a month. Over 1 million people were without power. Sometimes it's at least 2-3 weeks. And the reason why I say this is we experienced this back here in Idaho. It affected us. We actually saw this and it inspired us because we have a solution to address this problem. One of the things that we noticed in the Sandy hurricane event was, the first couple of days after the hurricane, things were okay. If you looked at the communication kind of activity, people were still using their phone, telling their relatives, hey, I'm okay, things are okay, I'm not, so forth. 3, 4, 5 days afterwards, nothing. There was no activity. It's not that the cell towers went down. It was actually no one had cell phone charge to recharge their phones. They had used up all of their batteries and so forth. And the people who thought they were safe with gas power generators, eventually they ran out of gas. And then so, because the state is out of power, you need gas to actually pump gas. So there's actually, the gas stations couldn't pump gas. And so you actually have to drive out of state to go get gas to power your gas generator. Well, if your car doesn't have gas, how are you going to get out of state? So basically, we developed a portable solar generator. And basically, the concept of a solar generator is it's like a gas-powered generator, but no fumes, no noise, no pollution, and it won't kill you if you accidentally leave it on inside your house. So it's powered from the sun, and basically we can power it from your wall or from your car, your cigarette lighter, but the most important thing is it can be powered from the sun, which is renewable energy, free from Mother Nature. And it's a great solution. Once you charge the generator, you can actually use it in many, many different ways. You can, charge your iPhone 100 times, right? You can watch TV for 16 hours straight without recharging it. One of our customers said that you are a lifesaving. They were doing construction near her home, and the power went out. She has like 3 or 4 young kids. She said, without power, I'm going crazy. These kids are killing me. And then once I bought your generator, the power went out, and I used it to power the TV, and it kept the kids occupied. And so that was a lifesaver for her. We had another customer that says, hey, I'm using it now to run my washing machine. It actually ran almost 3 loads. It died the last like 2 minutes of the 3rd load. So these are the type of things that you can do. And the use cases are, camping, hunting, backcountry hunting when you don't have access to power, in your home or in your office, right? The whole blackout thing. Just recently in the Pacific Northwest, there was a snowstorm, right? The freezer went out. And actually, my friend's wife said that was her biggest heartburn, was that she lost all of her food in her freezer. Well, if you have a blackout for maybe a day or 2, you can run your freezer for a couple days. And then obviously RV camping or your cabin. This is basically what our solution is made for. We actually have a bunch of products, starting from the smallest charger to the large ones. And I'll just share with you, we don't really focus on the left side, which are the smaller ones. There's a lot of competition there. But the 3 on the right are larger generators, and those are high margin products, at up to 75% margins, which is investors like that.
Say that again. What's your gross margin?
75%. We sell direct to the consumer.
Hardware.
Yes, hardware. Yeah. So I want to actually talk a little bit about kind of who we are. So the founder of the company, actually the founder and co-founder, are actually both from Pocatello. He's the owner of Big Dog Satellite, Big Dog Internet, and Big Dog Solar. And James is also part of Big Dog Solar. And they were actually messing around. Their customers were asking, after they installed a commercial solar on their roof, their customers kept asking them, hey, do you have anything smaller, lighter, portable? And that was around 2003 when they Hurricane Sandy came along, and we actually built a solution. I'll show you that timeline in a second. My background, I'm actually a transplant from California, live in Utah, but I commute up to Pocatello every week. The plan was actually to move the headquarters to Utah, because Goal Zero, our competitors out there's a lot more resources. But I will tell you one thing, Idaho is awesome for starters because the burn rate is like peanuts compared to like San Francisco, compared to Salt Lake. So the burn rate, in case you don't know, is basically how much it costs to operate the company on a monthly basis. So we decided, you know what, not only is the burn rate great, the community here is great. Actually, I've gotten so much love from Idaho that we've permanently decided the headquarters is never going to move. So we are proud to be an Idaho company. We're going to stay here. Yeah. So I actually, even though my address is in Utah, I've actually spent more time in Idaho than I do in Utah. So because I stay up here during the week and I go home during the weekend. But
you're welcome.
So we've been in lean startups. So in the lean startup movement, you actually iterate through products before you really start to scale. And actually, that's what we've done. We've actually started messing around and creating versions of our product since 2013. We've gotten lighter, smaller, until finally 2015, we actually created a product that you can see it started to hockey stick. So at the beginning of a hockey stick, right? The growth is starting. It's starting to be exponential. It's starting to grow really big. And we actually did and what happened in 2015 that really validated that we got something going was that we did a Indiegogo campaign, which is a crowdfunding campaign, and we actually pre-sold over $400,000 of people buying this product within 40 days. And that was the validation to us that there is traction in the market. And to your question back there is how do you raise money to get yourself going before you raise the big money is through crowdfunding campaign. So not every crowdfunding campaign is successful. We actually did another crowdfunding campaign in 2014, which wasn't very successful because we didn't get the product right. Once you get the product right, people they'll naturally, once they find out about it, they'll naturally support you and buy it. Some interesting facts about our campaign: we had over 72,000 people come and visit our Indiegogo page. You know, we had 10,000 referrals, people telling other people about the campaign. And that's what really helped us, the viral effect of it. Actually, what really helped us in the beginning was actually we had someone with a YouTube channel that was based in Idaho Falls that was into this. The channel is called LDS Prepper. So he was a prepper guy. And we actually gave him our generator to play with before we launched the campaign. And when he saw how great the product was, he told all his people, and that's what really helped us get kicked off. In the first couple of days, we get a lot of his people help us get going, and once once the engine gets kick-started, then momentum gets built, and then you know.
Hang on.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. Yeah, so we raised over $430,000, and what made people really excited is with the help of actually Wayne Brown, and actually Norris and Paul are here. They've given us
Paul.
Yeah.
Wade Brandon.
So we actually, with their help and encouragement, we actually came up with a kind of a way to kind of categorize this, but we call it the wow factor, right? What was the wow factor for us? And wow actually stands for watts over weight. So what it basically means is if you see the number of watts that all these competitors have, and you divide it by the weight, the number of pounds that each generator has, our watts over weight is hands down the best in the market. It is so light and is so powerful that just people can't refuse it. I mean, there's some customers that already have multiple of these generators and they still bought us, right? And we're not cheap. I mean, we're actually $1,500. We actually priced intentionally to go after Goal Zero because they're the 800-pound gorilla in our industry. And so that's our first generation products, and we're actually selling that already. We're actually, so how you guys can help us is, we're actually on the fundraising trail trying to raise money to do our second generation product. So as Jennifer mentioned, it's going to be even smaller, lighter, and we've actually now are partnering with University of Idaho and the INL to incorporate some advanced technology to make it smart. So right now, all of these generators that you saw are dumb, meaning that they don't talk to anybody else. They're not connected to the internet. They're not networkable. So we actually have a technology that we're working with INL, the Idaho National Lab, one of the 17 labs in the US that we're blessed to have in Idaho. There's a lot of technology there, and so I went and basically looked under the covers on the shelf, and there was one solution that we're actually looking to develop ourselves, but they'd already done it, and we basically are now trying to do a proposal from the Department of Energy to actually help us commercialize that. So Department of Energy hopefully will give us some money, we'll put in some money, and then we'll actually incorporate that to our next generation product.
That's awesome.
Excellent. And this is one of the people you donated.
Yep. So what drives me, what my passion is I'm actually from Southeast Asia. I was born in Laos, but I grew up in the U.S. But I've been back to Laos, and outside of the capital city, it's like third world. It's like the Stone Age. It's people live by fire, and this is what drives me, is to help us get power to the world, in a renewable power. So that's kind of what drives me.
That's a really terrible spelling of Laos, though.
There's a lot more activity going on in Africa than there is in Laos. But
This is very exciting. So, any quick question? Any burning questions? Want to jump up? I see Gary.
That's fine. Hi, Sean.
Hi.
I'm Gary.
Nice to meet you.
So, who are your customers? Or what customer segments?
Sure.
Identified out of the
So we actually anticipated two demographics that would buy from us, because we've already started, kind of iterating, the lean startup. We try products to see who's buying, who's willing to pay for it. Definitely the preppers, are buying it. And then the general emergency preparedness, kind of, blackout, kind of at home use. Those are the two main. And then we discovered a third demographic that a lot of people were buying us because they were really into solar, but they didn't want to spend $20,000 for a home system to put on their roof. They wanted to get started with it. So it's basically an intro to solar. So they actually said, hey, I talked to my wife, and spending $2,000 to get started using solar was a no-brainer for us. I didn't have to convince my wife, or my wife didn't have to convince me. So those are actually the intro to solar is the third. So actually, with our second generation product, we're actually going to go after just kind of FEMA type of third world developing countries. That's actually going to be our biggest market, actually.
Oh, is there enough use here to charge an electric bike?
The first generation product is 1 kilowatt, so it'll get you maybe another 15-20 miles. But our product, you can actually add external lead acid batteries to it, so you can expand it to 5, 10 kilowatts or whatever. But it's not meant to be that scale. Our actually third generation actually will be, it'll actually compete against like the Powerwall, the 5 kilowatt systems that could potentially power your electric vehicle.
Sean, I got a few questions about your Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign. First, why did you choose Indiegogo over the others?
Sure.
What was your ask initially compared to what you raised? And how much of that did you sort of prime the pump and you already had raised before you even got to the site?
Yeah. Okay, great questions actually. This is actually very helpful for those who are interested. So, the first question is actually why Indiegogo? So there's Kickstarter, there's Indiegogo, I think there's Rocket Ship or something like that. We tried Kickstarter. They had a lot of hurdles to go through, a lot of hoops to go through in order to put your project up there. Indiegogo is very, very company friendly. You basically can put whatever you want up there, and as long as no one complains about it, they're not gonna take you down. So obviously you want to do a good job, and that's why we did Indiegogo. Our initial target was $50,000, and we raised that in about 12 hours. And we did actually, we stacked the deck. We actually had our friends ready, to actually, if we needed it, we actually could have said, hey, can you help us out, so forth. But I talked about working with an LDS prepper person, and so he was already, ready. He actually had his video ready, and we put an embargo on him until we actually hit go. And once we hit go, we said, go ahead and post your video, and then...
that's a really important point, because you see these wonderful things on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and nobody's putting any money up, and after a week or so, nobody's buying. They ain't never going to buy. It sounds cynical, but having your friends lined up, getting in social media attention is very powerful. If nobody really likes it, it'll drop off again. I think that's important. Michael?
Yeah, so I know nothing about this business, so from the outside it appears that the battery is such a core element of your competitive advantage. It would seem that Tesla and the Powerwall and all of the things they're doing, they are really trying to innovate, trying to own that battery space.
Right.
How do you compete when you don't have the opportunity to spend $2 billion on the giga whatever?
Yeah, the gigafactory.
To buy your.
Yeah, so that's a startup. It's about who has the most passion, right? So I know that Elon Musk has a lot of passions, but I don't know how much passion he has about building consumer products that are like these portable solar generators. I think he's got passion about building his battery factories and so forth. But our solution is not just a battery. It's actually, because we have competitors who are also using lithium-ion batteries, but they can't get it down to like 20 pounds like we can. We had a competitor called Enerplex. They're the second one next to us as far as the wow factor. And they actually built after us. And so one of our secret sauces is our CTO. He is like the guru of miniaturization. He actually worked at GTE when he actually transformed the brick phone, remember the brick phone, to the little flip phone. So he is a master of miniaturization, and he lives in Pocatello. So, and that's one of our secret sauces. We know miniaturization, And we have a passion for this. And that's passion and luck will beat the big giants any day.
August?
Where do you see the product going once you integrate the smart technology?
Sure.
And it kind of takes that next
Yeah.
leap? I mean,
Exactly.
obviously there's a lot of potential.
Exactly, yeah. Great, thank you for that T-Mobile question. I mean, we're so excited about this, our second generation product, because we're going from dumb boxes to actually smart boxes. And the whole IoT, Internet of Things, that's exactly the pattern. In startups and in business, it's all about pattern recognition, right? When you go from dumb devices to smart devices, things just go crazy. Just the iPhone, for example. You know, it used to be a dumb feature phone, and you went to the iPhone. Steve Jobs didn't know that the App Store was going to kill, was going to take over the world. He did know, but he knew that making it smarter and giving more options will definitely give you options.
One thing I related to is a perfect example of a dumb box is like the cooler,
Yeah.
and then the coolest cooler.
Exactly, yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
just kind of take that same concept
Exactly,
and
yeah.
what do you make this power box now that's
Yeah.
smarter? What else can you do?
So we actually want to go, so the government right now, President Obama wants to basically, and actually the US wants to be energy efficient, right? Or energy independent, right? So we are actually tackling this problem from a different perspective. All the other big companies are going after the utility scale, products, right? Smart grids and big solar farms and all that stuff. We're going after this problem from the ground up, from the roots. So we're actually selling to the consumer. So basically, when it becomes smart, your neighborhood can all be actually networked now. Like in your house, if you have 3 generators, they can all talk to each other and they can pool power. But then you actually connect it to your neighborhood via even the grid, actually. One of the technologies is that we can talk to each other via the electric grid. Actually, you can actually communicate with each other and share power. When the grid is down, your local community can still have power. One of my kind of guilty pleasures is watching The Walking Dead, right? Zombie apocalypse, right? And you see in the show, if you have solar power, you're set, right? So that's the future. Basically, you can actually be power. You can be off the grid. You can live off the grid, and if you actually apply this, I'm sure you guys are all thinking about U.S. living off the grid, but there's like 1.5 billion people in the world that don't have access to the grid. That's the opportunity.